It is nostalgia. That's all there is to it at the end of the day. This is what they ran in the 60s, and this is the style of car, yeah.
It's all about fun. You know, there's competition, sure, but basically everyone's here for the same purpose, and that's to have a blast with old cars. Not too many rules. They're not as technically advanced as drag racing's become, and I think that's where the fun comes into it. You can just run against a similar car and have a ball.
The momentum is just building immensely with it. You know, I'd say there'd be double the amount of gases here today than there were last year.
I've been nostalgia racing since they started it in the US. Run this thing since 1986, and 20 years later it finally went 10 seconds. When I bought the car, the guys that sold it to me told me it was a 10-second car. First time I drove it, I knew it wasn't, but it's taken that long to run a 10. It was some guy's high school hot rod, and it had a Hemi in it, and he drove it on the street, obviously, and it transitioned into a race car, and that's what it was when I bought it. It had a 354 Hemi in it with single 4-barrel on it. I put 4 2s on it, went racing, and it sort of morphed into this thing. And it's got an injected 440 Chrysler in it with an automatic and Oldsmobile rear end, run on alcohol, and it's just a fun thing. I come out once a year. We haven't fired this thing since it was here last year, so we'll get onto that pretty shortly. I guess when I was reading magazines as a little kid, this is the sort of thing that was on the cover, and I just fell in love with this stuff. And when the time came to purchase one, I didn't miss a beat. Yeah, to get it started, keep it together, and keep it on its wheels.
1964 Falcon Sprint gasser. It's got a 462 big block Chev with a trans brake power glide, Mark Williams 9-inch, about 550, maybe 600 horsepower, and a whole lot of fun to drive. You're 6 foot in the air before you even start, so it makes it fairly exciting and a little bit different to drive, especially when you hit that hump in the middle of the track. I think the main attraction for me with this is obviously the style of car, but it's also the simplicity of it all. Really, it doesn't matter if you do a 8-second or a 15-second, you race what you've got. And because it's old school, you just do the best of what you can do with what you've got. If I can stay in that low 10s, I'll be fairly happy. Problem being is it's drum brakes and no booster, it's stopping at the other end that's the important thing.
Like I say, I've liked these things for the longest time, and to see more of them coming on the scene, it's good not being the only one with a gasser and everybody looking at you funny, you know?